Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We're diving into Delta Force Hawk Ops Tactical Turmoil, and I'm really excited to explore the game with you. In this episode, we're going to focus on the weapons, looking at different guns in the game and all the ways we can modify and upgrade them. We'll check out the various skins available and what other cool attachments and enhancements we can add to our arsenal to make it more powerful. Now, there are two ways to get into the gun modification section. The first way is through the Munitions Planning Operator. This character is stationed at the Munitions Center, surrounded by all the guns on the wall. You've got to admit, they look pretty cool, to be fair. Simply press the F key to open up and start customizing. In Munitions Planning, you can see all the guns that are available to you. There are guns that are unlocked and guns that are locked. You've got ARs, SMGs, shotguns, LMGs, Marksman Rifles, and Sniper Rifles, as well as your pistols. You can filter down based on what you want to select. In this instance, we'll go with the ARs. I'm going to have a look at the G3 battle rifle. When you select the gun, you get a pop-up on the right-hand side. It shows what the attachments are that you can have with the gun. It also gives you standard stats such as damage, range control, handling, stability, and accuracy. As you scroll down, you'll get further information of what these stats mean and how they're calculated. Additionally, you can see the details about armor penetration, fire rate, capacity, the mode of the gun, muzzle velocity, and the gunshot sound. That's including how far away it can be heard. An extra option you get on this screen is the ability to see the items that you can trade for that gun. In this instance, you don't buy the gun, you trade for it. For example, if I look at the assault rifle instead of the items at the bottom, it has a price. But with the G3 battle rifle, if you want to buy it, you've got to find some items on the map. Clicking details shows me more information about the gun. The first part is damage, which includes the damage caused by hitting different parts of the body. It also shows you the damage fall off multiplier, or how the damage decreases the more shots you fire at the character, for example. In this instance, the first headshot would be 74. That would decrease by 0.9%, so around 65. And then the third shot down by 0.8%, so we're probably talking between 50 and 55. The next section shows on the screen is control. This shows you the sub-recoil attributes, the trajectory distribution chart. It also shows how the gun stands currently with no attachments on. The initial preset here shows the strafe across the body, which is quite a narrow strafe. If I add attachments, the current modification section in green on the right-hand side would either make you strafe tighter or wider, depending on the modifications that we add. The same goes for the sub-attributes. Any tweaks to the gun will alter these attributes. Handling is similar, showing the standard attributes in place now. Any additions will make changes displayed in green. The stability of the gun is also crucial, as the higher the stability means the weapon shakes less. The information about how the gun fires and the sway range, especially when holding your breath, walking, or performing other actions. There's also standard attributes which are shown, and the modifications will change these attributes accordingly depending on what changes we make. Finally, we've got accuracy. This shows how the gun sways and moves. The more concentrated the shots are when firing from the hip, the better. It displays the spread depending on whether you're walking, standing still, or in other positions. This feature is pretty cool and different from other games I've seen, to be honest. To modify my gun, I'm going to go into stash. I'm going to click on the G3 battle rifle that I've got in my stash. Several options will now pop up. I could sell it, equip it, or source it, which means finding where I can buy it from. I can either buy it from the auction house or from the assault battalion. If I choose to purchase from the auction house, I'll go to the auction site and see a range of prices showing how many people are selling this gun and at what price. It will display the option for the cheapest one for me to buy. Sometimes the guns may have attachments or other modifications, but this doesn't always show up. You can always refresh the list and the latest prices and options will be shown. If I want to sell the gun, it's a bit different. I can go into my sell options. It'll pop up giving me the choice to sell it by price to the merchant or sell it by auction. If I click auction, it'll let me break down the components of the gun, which is pretty cool, showing the suggested price for each component. And I can list all the other items at the auction as well as the gun. If I sell it normally though through the merchant, it just sells the whole gun without breaking it up. Now, we're in the modify screen. On the top left, you've got 4 options: modify, calibration, loadout, and appearance. The modify screen gives me different options for making attachments to the gun. If I click on the calibration screen, it shows me which attachments I've already got on the gun and what items can be calibrated. If I click on the loadout screen, this gives me the save the gun setup. So if I quickly need to load up this item again in the future because I've lost it and I don't want to go through trying to figure out what items I bought and the various attachments and the calibrations I made, I can just click on the custom loadout. I can also share my loadout by copying the share code and sending it to a friend in the game so they can build their own loadout as well. I find this feature really clever because in other games like DMZ, I'd have to drop my gun for my friend to pick up, look at what attachments I've got, try and figure out how I've calibrated it. But in this game, I can basically share the blueprint I've made and they can use the blueprint and apply it to any gun they buy. Finally, we have appearance. This is how the gun looks. I can move it around, up and down. I really like the background here as well. You see in part of the black sight. So I think that's pretty cool. You can see every aspect of the gun, looking at all the textures on it, which again is a quite cool effect. At this point, you can also add skins, charms if you have them. Once you've accepted the changes, you can move the gun around again to see how it would look like in real life. When you add the charms, they also move in the game as you walk and play, adding a nice dynamic touch. So, you're all here to really see us modify this gun. That's the crux of it. So I've got barrels I can add to the barrels I can add, rails, suppressors on some guns. You can also add tripods and stands. Basically, your foregrips, your underhand grips for the gun. You can customize your magazines, add mag mounts, any optics, any top rails if you want to offset the optic. For those who like to look down the gun but also have an optic at the side for side views. Finally, you can also change your stock and your grips. So I'm going to make a few alterations to this gun. I've got an underhand grip on it already, but let's see what else there is. As you can see, if you look at the top left of the description, as I click on the item, it's color coded with boxes. You've got blue, green, purple, and purple is for the really expensive top class items. You sometimes get yellow appearing, which is 5 boxes, but most of the gun attachments here are purple. The price also differentiates. Your blues and purples have got a quite big price difference. If I went from green, I'm probably paying about 3,000 in currency dollars. For blue, it's probably about the 11,000 mark, and above 30,000 is likely to be a purple item. For this gun, I'm going to go for a stock because it helps with handling. I'll look through the items. This one's got handling stability for 11, adding 2 and 5. I've got vertical grip, which is the one there, mini hand stop. I'll lose some control, but I'll gain some more handling. If I had loads of money, I'd probably look at the Phantom, which makes it a little less stable, but gives me good control and good handling, or a combat grip, which I do like. But it's offset as well, which is cool. It gives me some really good control and accuracy. But for this one, I'm probably going to go for the Knight. No, I'm going to go for the folding grip. When you purchase it, it gets added to the gun. You get the option to calibrate. If you click in here, you get a slider function where you can move it depending on what it is. It'll move within the gun. You can also see the plus and minus buttons, which add as an increment. So you've got 1 grid, 2 grid, 3 grid, 4 grids, etc. For this item, especially, you can adjust the thickness going up in millimeters, making it thicker and improving the grip. On the left-hand side of the screen, as you're making these alterations, you can see the effects, for example. The ADS might go up or down depending on the changes, and the moving stability of the gun can also fluctuate. This really lets you personalize the gun and understand how the changes impact its performance. So next I'm going to change the muzzle on it. At the moment it doesn't really have a muzzle, so you can just see the end of the barrel. I'll click on my muzzles. As you can see, I already own a silent suppressor, so I could add that to the gun for nothing. If I click on it, it's going to let me increase my range by 68 up to 68 and improve my control. There's a little button here that lets me compare the original attributes versus the new ones, showing how it's improving or decreasing the gun's performance. I also have information about armor penetration, fire rate, capacity, mode, muzzle velocity, and gunshots by distance. By clicking the details again, I can see the strafe and the gun have impacted on, or how they've been impacted on its ADS and distance, etc. Okay. For control, the suppressor makes it slightly worse, but you can see that the vertical recoil multiplier is improving, meaning it handles side to side better, but maybe slightly worse for up and down recoil. The firing stability has decreased slightly. For handling the ADS speeds, they've also decreased with the changes that we've made so far. But the stability section shows the changes in sway and what happens when you hold your breath. For accuracy, there's not much change to this gun. Since I already own the item, I'll go ahead and install it anyway. Next, we're looking at stock. I've got stock on it already, so I could just calibrate it if I wanted to. Or I've got a practical tactical stock in my inventory, which I could install by just adding it on. I'm going to improve the gun by another 2 points if I install that one. So I'm going to put this one on instead. I'll click into the calibration. Right, all right. I can see the slider showing my weight limit, placement limit. It's already set to default, so I've got 2 greens on the left-hand side for control. I'll up the weight slightly to give me extra control, although it will decrease the stability when breathing, but I'm fine with that. Adjusting the placement, I can extend it for extra control and improves firing stability. Yeah, I'll do that. Now I'm going to take a quick look at the magazines I've got. I've got a 50 round drum or the 30 round mag. I'm going to go for the mag because I'm running out of cash, but it's less than if I added the drum. However, I can get a little bit of handling back with the mag mount, so I'm going to add that. The mag mount helps with how quickly the gun will reload. And that's it. My gun's ready. I'm happy with it. Made quite a few changes to it. Next step for me is to enter the firing range to give it a try. I'll save that for the next video. If you've liked this video, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel. I've got the opportunity of being one of the pre-testers for Delta Force, so there's going to be a load of Delta Force videos on. And then when Alpha goes live, I'll be playing the game with my friends as well, so we'll have some fun there. Like I say, subscribe to the channel, like the video, give it a share, that'd be great, and see you on the next one. Cheers, bye.